It's come down to this. First there were 32, and now there's 2. All for the game's biggest prize. 2 teams go in, 1 team will come out crowned as the 2026 champions. The question is, who you got? Let's start gabbing.
The autumn winds move like the thunderous waves of Neptune's sacred palace. And here, amongst the blackened soil, lies the ragged hands, worn, torn, and callous. They await with cunning and vicious prowess, for the warriors have returned.
Come on, Dirt! Don't do it! Woo! No way! Woo! 85! Crying out loud! You're making me, you're driving me nuts!
But behold,
Gabbers, thank you guys so much for joining us for another edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style. As always, you are joined with the one and only Mr. CeeLo. I certainly do appreciate you guys joining us, as this has been a pretty slow season for me, and I know many of my subs, you guys are disappointed in how the season went. My apologies for that. I juggle quite a bit here, but like I said, guys, I am going through some changes, but that hopefully will not happen next season. But some of you have stayed faithful to the Gridiron Gab Pro Style platform. Thank you so much. And we even added a few new subscribers that we have to welcome, you guys. And needless to say, we do not want to get out of here without giving you your just due. I hope you guys are doing great, as it seemed like the weather was getting back to its norm. Now, many of you may not know, I live in the Southeast, Georgia to be exact, and hopefully we can see some 60s. And I hope you guys up north are clearing out that snow and starting to get a little bit of warmth yourself. Want to give a huge gab out to Kimberly, who is a new gabber. Welcome to the family. Who joins the show. Listen, YouTube does not do a good job of letting me know who's subs. So if I get you in my notifications, it's strictly random, I guess. So please, if you take the time to hit that sub button, please, it's imperative that you put your name down in the comments. Listen, it's not for billing purposes, or I'm gonna sell. Not gonna do that. I just want to give you a gab out, because we over here at Gridiron Gab Pro Style appreciate each and every one of you. And if you hit that sub, make sure you hit that bell notification, because we want you to come back. If you thought enough of it to subscribe, you don't want to lose us, do you? So hit that bell notification and make sure you get all notifications. That includes my shorts as well as my regular shows, which I have few and far between this year. But next year, that's going to be different, you guys. I also want to go ahead and give you guys a program note. I am going to be selecting 15 teams, and of course the top 3 are going to be the Browns, Raiders, and Titans, in which I will have a draft plan or free agency / draft plan for this team. And if there's other teams out there that you guys would like for me to critique, please let me know. As for my the Carolina Panthers, that is my primary team. I actually have a podcast / YouTube channel for that. If you are a Carolina Panther fan, go over to Growlin' and Prowlin'. If there's any type of work that is done on the Carolina Panthers, that is primarily done over there. I hardly touch the Carolina Panthers over here on this channel. But all other 31 teams will be done predominantly here. But that's not why you came over here, to hear me yap about 29 other teams that are not even in it. 30 teams that are not in it. You want to know about the big showcase on Sunday night where 40 to 50 to 100 million people are going to be watching, right? But before we do that, we've already given Kimberly her big gab out. We have a couple of comments that Mr. CeeLo must touch on. And guys, let me explain something to you. If you're nice to me and you explain your point, Mr. CeeLo will actually take the time. Chad said on my show, can the Patriots overcome the Seahawks' secret weapon? And Chad's response to that, I'm assuming he is a Patriots fan. Dope. I know. Just for the record, the Pats organization as a whole have a pretty scary record when they are the underdogs. Just saying, this game ain't going to be no blowout. I'll reply to that later on in the show, but I love the comments. Great comment, I might add. And you made me do some research on that as well. Great comment, Chad. Andrew said, Pats and Seahawks are both 6-1 versus common opponents. The weak schedule narrative is awful. The Pats hasn't been crisp, but they are battle tested versus 3 of the top 5 defenses. The Seahawks haven't played a DL like the Pats or a secondary like the Pats. May has carried many games without the run game. The Seahawks don't have a Will Anderson on their team. Andrew, great breakdown. I appreciate that, but I will counter that argument later on in the show. But excellent. I love when you guys engage with facts and certain things that you have seen within the game. But that is why this show is here. Now, it's small, but it's up to you guys to keep passing this along. Listen, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm viewing this from a strictly football type of guy. Okay? So please, don't get upset because you're a Patriots fan and I'm critiquing. And I'm critiquing harshly. But let us get into the meat and potatoes of this. I'm not going to forget you, Chad and Andrew. Thank you so much for the comments. And listen, no grudge here. I love good, clean banter. I appreciate it. That's why we call it Gridiron Gab. And it's pro style. Great job, guys. And if anybody else wants to chime in, please do. It's always welcome. Just be nice. See how Chad and Andrew did that? They broke it down. They didn't call me stupid or this, that, and the other. They basically, in a nutshell, said what needed to be said, and they kept it moving. Thank you. Okay. Let us break this game down, which is showing as a 4.5 spread in favor of the Seahawks. ESPN has Seattle heavily favored in this. Well, not heavily, but largely favored. I think they're largely favored, and as the two new gabbers have alluded to, you know, the Seahawks have done exceptionally. The Patriots have done well against the spread. Now, I will point out that since this is going to be the first thing we discuss, since they were comments, the Patriots' all-time record as underdogs is 104 and 177. Now, they were 4-2 against the spread as underdogs in 2025. That's okay. That's pretty good. I think the Carolina Panthers were 5-1. I think it was. No, 5-2. I think it was. 4-0 2025 road underdog record. 2025 home underdog record 0-2. I don't think many of you guys know, but who's the visiting team in this game? It ain't the Patriots. That underdog record's not looking too good right now, Chad. And yeah, so I'm not really banking on that at this point. But then when I look at Andrew, and I did the research, common opponent 6-1. While that is impressive, I will admit that. That is an impressive stat to bring up. However, when I look at the fact that you said that they are battle tested, you have to kind of be a little bit specific when you say battle tested. I've got a hard time, kind of looking at the schedule and saying you're battle tested. I mean, Raiders, Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers, Bills, yes. Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Buccaneers, Jets, Bengals, Giants, Bills. Yet you lost to that one. You lost that one, and then you squeaked by Ravens team, Jets, Dolphins. Not overly impressive. And then let's look at the playoffs. And I'm just going to be honest. The Chargers had both of their starting tackles on IR. The Texans couldn't block anybody. No need Nico Collins or Tank Dell. And they lose Dalton Schultz in that game. And you needed C.J. Stroud to practically give you the game to win it. And the Broncos had Jarrett Stidham starting.
Bruh.
So while you make points, they're really not as valid as you think. This Seahawk team that you're playing, you have no Rams on this schedule. And look, I get it. You can't control the narrative of who you play. I'm not saying you don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl. What I am simply saying is they've had to play the 49ers twice. They had to play the Rams twice. And then you throw in the fact that they had to play a pretty darn good Indianapolis team that struggled down the stretch. I'll admit that. And they played Houston and Jacksonville. So, look, I'm not saying that the Patriots are not deserving to be here. What I'm simply saying is you're up against a mammoth that is not only battle tested, but they're impressive. I mean, you can't, look, I don't want Patriot fans to walk in here thinking that their team is not going to have a shot. But I don't want them walking in here thinking, okay, what we did wrong and this, that, and the other. In order for the Patriots to win this, they're going to have to play a perfect game. They're just going to have to. And I think both lines are shaky. I really do. And I think I remember somebody on CBS saying something about the left side of that line. But then Pete Prisco said you could criticize the entire line for, New England. And I think I read a graphic that they've given up 5 sacks in the playoffs. And here's where I want you guys that are watching, that are Patriot fans, to understand. Mike McDonald's defense is like a chessboard. They don't necessarily blitz you or pass rush you or stunt you on that necessary play. They set it up. They're methodical with it. And see, with the line that you have that's struggling, you're going to have to figure it out pretty quick. This is not a unit that they smell blood and they back off. They keep coming. And from no more than what Drake May's been able to do, and him being in the MVP conversation, and I know you guys are going to roast me for this one, he ain't playing the same competition that Matt Stafford did. Just being real. Y'all played one of the weakest schedules in the National Football League. I mean, you can call it what it is. It's all about being battle tested. And that's where I'm at with this with New England. I'm not sure that they can hold up to Seattle's level of intensity that they play on defense. This is going to be a game where Drake May's got to be like what I said with the Houston game. May's going to have to take care of the ball. And I remember hearing somebody on CBS saying that they're going to have to take advantage of the middle of that Seattle defensive front. They're going to have to. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They're going to have to run the football if they're going to make any kind of noise in this game. Realistically, they have to dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They're not going to be able to run against this Seattle defense. They're not going to be able to run against the Seattle defense if they become one-dimensional. That's just the way it is. They're going to have to trick guys like Nick Emanrory and get them off task. Peeping in the backfield so they can make mistakes. Now, a pretty good graphic that you guys have working in your favor is the tight ends. I think I saw a graphic that said that the Seahawks defense gives up the 6th most points to tight ends. So, this works in their favor. If Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper are healthy, this is a huge advantage for them, given that Drake May does like finding the tight ends and you know the coaching staff is going to want to put that thing in those guys' hands. The question is, Hunter Henry has a questionable, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play in this game. It's going to be very difficult for him to find his way not in this game. I think that is going to have to be where the Patriots make their bacon. They're going to have to get the ball to the tight ends, which is actually a strength of this defense with Nick Eamon-Rory entering the lineup inside that big nickel slash big box safety slash linebacker. I think he's been a dangerous addition to this Seattle defense. He has just been absolutely dangerous in coverage. I don't know. From the outside looking in, you would think this would be an advantage, but Mike McDonald's probably evaluated that and said, hey, look, we're going to have him on the field as a rookie more, and this is not good news for the Patriots. If McDonald has planned for the tight ends to be the source of the game plan, this ain't going to be good. This is not going to be good for the Patriots. I think ultimately, once again, the Patriots are going to have to get turnovers. I mean, listen, everybody talks about Christian Gonzalez. I think he's a good player. But we got to go back to, it's easy to lock down guys that are rookies, such as the Houston Texans had, and then you lock down, guys on Denver that had Jarrett Stidham. It's not that difficult. But we did see the Broncos get a bomb with Jarrett Stidham. So keep that in mind, Patriot fans. While you may have dominated most of that game, you're here because Jarrett Stidham made a horrible decision with the ball. Keep that in mind. I'm just trying to level set you guys. That's all I'm doing. It's not a situation where I'm saying you don't belong there. I'm simply saying keep an even keel about it. There's a reason why Vegas has you guys as underdogs, and why even the ESPN poll has you guys, power rankings have you guys as overwhelming underdogs. Because the truth of the matter is, guys, that's what it is. If defensive interior is good, and I get that, your pass rush in the interior is very good, and there's question marks in Seattle's interior. But you're not going to sit there and see Seattle go crazy trying to make plays when they realize that they've got a defense they can lean on as well. This team has had 4 or 5 turnovers from Sam Darnold against the Rams, and they still were in the game. I'm going to be honest with you. And this is what Seattle does. Seattle forces you to make mistakes. And then they play exceptional special teams with Rashid Shaheed. You have to come out there and account for this guy. This guy is a lightning bolt, and he is a game changer. Just ask the Rams. Just ask them. He single-handedly sparked the game that pretty much turned the tables of that division. This Seattle team is quietly, and I say quietly because even myself, there weren't very many people in the National Football League that saw when Sam Darnold signed that deal that they were going to be here. You could argue about that with the Patriots. Nobody saw you guys doing what you did. Commendable. We got 2 underdogs in the Super Bowl. Well, I think it's improbable, but I have to give you guys a little bit of, I would say, some possibility of winning this game. I think the grittiness of this team is very, very just what I like to call blue-collarish. They have a blue-collar mentality, and they really get after it on the front 7. I really do. I really think they're really exceptional. But then you got to think. JSC has been exceptional. And like I've said before, I like Christian Gonzalez. I think he's a great corner, and a lot of people talk about him. But Christian Gonzalez ain't faced off yet with a guy like this. Has not. I mean, realistically, you Patriots fans, I mean, let's be a little bit open-minded about this. I mean, let's look at, You did see Tyreek Hill before he got hurt, and Gonzalez did see a little bit of Tetero and McMillan, but outside of that, who is he seeing? Who is he seeing? JSN's on a different level, and he's playing at a high level. And let's not forget, former Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp is on this team as well. It's real easy, guys, when you're playing against a pretty good wide receiver core. And then you got to remember something, you guys. Listen, you guys are also facing off against arguably a breakout tight end whom, in my opinion, is finally started to get his flowers. In last year's pick out of Michigan, A.J. Barner. I just think you guys are overmatched, and I think y'all's heart and desire is there, but I just think, ultimately, when I look at y'all's schedule, y'all have not been tested. I mean, I get the common foe thing, but the common foes, it ain't the Rams and it ain't the 49ers. Let's just say that. And, yeah. So, I mean, I really can't roll with you on that one when you say, look at the common opponents. I mean, they lost. Y'all played Tampa Bay on a revolving stake. Tampa Bay was up when they played them, and yes, they beat them. Tampa Bay wasn't the same team. They were not. And there's no way you can even try and justify that one. And realistically, look, you can have that as a feather in your cap if you want to, but I'm not seeing it that way. I'm seeing this Seattle team as a team that is battle tested. They've had to deal with all kinds of crazy adversity, where Sam Darnold looked like he was going to be the reason they don't win. Looked like a replica of last year in Minnesota. But with that being said, let's say what the Patriots are going to have to do. First of all, you're going to have to stop Kenneth Walker. And with that interior line, I see that happening, but there's a difference. What if the Seahawks start tossing that thing outside? And they can start getting the edge. Kenneth Walker is quietly one of the best running backs in the league. He's a good secret being kept. He's a good secret that's been kept. That's the only thing you could say about him. He has been a great secret kept. And for what many people don't see about JSN, let's just say JSN has been so spectacular. He quietly lets Kenneth Walker do his job. To the point that even in a two-back system, Kenneth Walker has absolutely been putting on a pretty darn good show. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing. And then Charbonnet had 730 before his injury. Because Charbonnet was the one that had the touchdowns. He had 12 touchdowns. Walker only had 5. So now with Walker getting the lion's share of the carries, you guys got to have the man up front. Not to mention you got JSN to deal with. Look, with all due respect, I take JSN over Christian Gonzalez any day. I think what's going to have to happen is y'all guys going to have to get pressure with 4. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Y'all can't be running crazy blitzes trying to get to Sam Darnold. Now, I will say this. You better make sure you got double coverage over the top. But I'm going to look at it from this standpoint. It would not shock me if Cooper Kupp was featured in this game. It would not shock me. He's been way too daggone quiet for this season. You know, JSN's got 119 catches on 163 targets for almost 1,800 yards. Cooper Kupp's got 47 grabs on 70 targets for a grand total of 593 yards. And then A.J. Barner, who really came on late, has got 52 grabs for 519 yards, 6 touchdowns. And then outside of that, it's really just kind of Rashid Shaheed has been kind of a, who is that? So I know it sounds like I'm slamming you guys, but I am just trying to bring you guys to a level of even keelness. If you can get the turnovers, that's where I see this game going. That's where I see New England stays in this game. If you guys can't get turnovers, I don't see you staying in it very long, especially if you turn it over. I'm trying to tell you, this Seattle defense, if you ain't watching the film, this team is fast. One thing about Seattle, their defense can make up for defensive inefficiencies, and they can make up for their offensive inefficiencies. They can do that. They make a mistake on the defense, they can make up for it. It may not be the next play, may not be the next drive, but eventually they'll make up for it. You better ask Matt Stafford. And if you ain't careful with that defense, you better watch special teams, because the minute you think you got away from them, this defense is coming back out there just so they can get a stop, so they can get Rashid Shaheed a kick return. Best advice for the Patriots: kick the damn ball out of bounds on every punt and kickoff. I don't care where the ball starts at. Don't let Shaheed touch it. Don't let him touch it. Patriot fans, the keys to victory: dominate the time of possession. Major turnovers. You're going to need at least 3. And finally, May and your running backs and your skill players cannot turn this ball over. You cannot. You need to be 3-0 in the turnover battle if you win this game. Those are your keys to victory. 3 turnovers. Win the time of possession. And 0 turnovers in your column. Let me know what you guys think. I know Patriot fans got some smoke for me. Once again, I appreciate any Patriots fan or even Seahawk fans chime in if you agree with me. And let me know what's up. Because listen, I love these dialogues. I love my gabbers getting involved, because that's what this is about. Please get involved so we can talk about this and have some dialogue. Make sure that you comment down below. And make sure that you leave your name if you are a new subscriber or a new viewer. And make sure you hit that thumbs up if you like the show. Make sure you share the show if you got a friend that's either a Seattle Seahawks fan or a New England Patriot fan or just a football fan in general. Make sure that you comment down below and tell us where you're from, and so we can make sure the engagements become coast to coast, border to border. Also, we have a Facebook page, Gridiron Gab Pro Style, and a group, Gridiron Gab Pro Style. I will do my best this season to do a better job in keeping it updated. It hasn't been updated in a long time. Yep, been lazy. But go over there so you can join in and let me know what topics you like to. Oh, also in the comments here, let me know if there's another team you'd like me to critique as far as what they need to do in free agency, as well as what they need to do in the draft. Finally, make sure you go over to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo. You can contact me over there, DM me, and tell me what things you would like to see me comment on, or what kind of shows you'd like me to do, and keep up with all of my in-season and off-season shenanigans that I will be caught up in. But until the next time, same Gab channel, same Gab platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms, for they are here. An army that has the will to challenge and the will to dare.